Now I will try my best to explain about the organism. Organism can be divided into two types. The first one is unicellular organism. Another one is multicellular organism. From the word unicellular organism, it easily been said that this type of organism only exists in one cell only. Okay, they have one cell only. For the multicellular organism, they have more than one cell, maybe two, maybe three, or maybe million of cells that build up the system, build up that particular organism. For the unicellular organism, of course, here we have the only one cell. In your syllabus, you are required to learn about amoeba and paramecium. These two species you are required to learn, but please make sure that you understand this not the only unicellular organism exists in the world. They have many more species compared to these two, amoeba and paramecium. We have the bacteria, we have the virus. Okay, of course they are exist in single cell only. Okay, single cell only, not in multiple cell. Then we go directly to the amoeba. Amoeba can be found on the pond, lake, river. Okay, pond, lake, river. Their movements, they are constantly change shape when faces obstacles. Of course, they are changing their shape because of the plasma membrane itself have the ability to extend. Okay, they have the ability to extend and to move towards a certain object, or move away from that particular object or stimulus. For example, they have a very high temperature at one places of water. Then they will use their plasma membrane, extending their plasma membrane, move away from that high temperature of water, going to the more suitable temperature of the water. Okay, they constantly change shape of the plasma membrane. The plasma membrane, when they are changing their shape, the cytoplasm inside the plasma membrane, inside the cell, will flowing through the places of the plasma membrane. Then they will move. Okay, they will move from one places to another places. Okay, if you can try to imagine, and of course I provide the link, okay, on the description, that you can click the link. It will go directly to my Instagram, that showing that the movement of the plasma membrane. You can go and watch the video lah. I cannot put inside this video because that video come from the other channel. Okay, it's not mine to show to you because the YouTube, they have a copyright strike. Okay, the movements involve the extent of the plasma membrane. Okay, the amoeba, they will extend the plasma membrane, and cytoplasm will flow to the plasma membranes. From the extending of the plasma membrane, it will form the pseudopodium. If you look this, we have the pseudopodium. In example, I have the plasma membrane here, or I'm using the plasma membrane here. The plasma membrane here, they have the amoeba here, they have the plasma membrane. That plasma membrane, they have ability to extend. Okay, where the extend part of the plasma membrane we call as a pseudopodium. This pseudopodium is singular. Okay, involving one structure of the plasma membrane. If they have more than one structure, the extending, that forming the plasma membrane, for example this one, another structure, we call that as a pseudopodia. The last word there is a, pseudopodia, replacing the also been called as a force feed. Why the amoeba move from one place to another one, from one location to another one? Because maybe they want to move away. Okay, they want to move away from that water. because that water have stimulus that are not suitable for the living process of amoeba. In example, chemical, maybe there are more toxin there, or more waste there that will maybe killing the process of amoeba. Then the amoeba will move away from that locations of water. Or maybe they have high concentration of salt, the high salinity that will affect the living process of the amoeba. Then they will move away using the plasma membrane, forming the phosphates. Or maybe they involve the touch, maybe they have a vibration there, or maybe people doing something there that cause the amoeba to be disturbed. Then they will move away. Or bright light, of course they have, when the light is like concentration is higher, they will affect the temperature of that part of water. Then they will move away from that particular places. Or maybe they are moving towards the foods. When they have a food there, the plasma membrane will extend itself, and then they will try to engulf the foods, so that the food will be ingested into the cytoplasm. Okay, ingested into the cytoplasm, and the feeding process take place. That we call as a phagocytosis. Okay, nutrition. Nutritions, how they get the nutrients. Move towards the foods, extend the pseudopodium, and then they will trap the foods. Okay, they will trap the food. For example, here we have the foods. Here we have the food. The plasma membrane will extend itself, forming the pseudopodium or pseudopodia, because more than one pseudopodium we call as a pseudopodia. This is English. You need to make sure that you know lah the difference between the pseudopodium and pseudopodia. They are forming the phosphate of pseudopodia, and then they will engulf these foods, so that the food will entering the cytoplasm. So extend the pseudopodium, they trap the food, and then the phagocytosis will take place. Food vacuole combined with lysosome. When they are entering the, okay, I change it to the, sorry, what color best describing. Okay, when they are entering the cytoplasm, they are forming what we call as a food vacuole. They are forming food vacuole. This food vacuole will combine with lysosome. Okay, lysosome have the hydrolytic enzyme. Okay, lysosome have the hydrolytic enzyme. This hydrolytic enzyme will break down the food vacuole in the smaller pieces, so that the absorption process, the usage of the food vacuole is much more easier. Okay, the usage of the food vacuole are much more easier. The food vacuole combined with lysosome. Food particle hydrolyzed by the lysozyme. Lysozyme, what is lysozyme? Lysozyme is the hydrolytic enzyme. This one is the hydrolytic enzyme. And then nutrient absorbed into the cytoplasm. Of course, they have the cytoplasm. And then the respiration, they're using the simple diffusion. That's mean when they need oxygen, oxygen will enter. When they want to eliminate carbon dioxide will exit. Okay, they will moving out from the amoeba. That is the respiration, very simple. Okay, they have high total surface area over volume, TSA over volume. That means they are much more effective, much more efficient in the taking oxygen, eliminating the carbon dioxide. Excretion, excrete waste, for example carbon dioxide and ammonia. Of course, they're not required to have these two things, then they will eliminate. Okay, contracting vacuole, osmoregulation. The contracting vacuole, they want to eliminate excess water. If you look at this, the location where they live is pond, lake, water, river. Maybe the outside is much more what we call hypotonic. Okay, hypotonic. When they are hypotonic, that means the water from outside will move into inside. The water will move into inside of the amoeba. When the water move inside into amoeba, if they are not eliminating the excess water, of course it will burst. That's why it will be collecting by the contractile vacuole. They will be collecting by the contractile vacuole up until they reach maximum capacity, and then they will contract. When they contract, they will remove all the excess water outside of the cell. That what happened at the contractile vacuole. That what happened at the contractile vacuole. That we call as a osmoregulation process. And then we have the reproduction for the amoeba. In the suitable environment, they will have the binary fissions. Very simple. From this one amoeba, the binary fission, they form another two amoeba. What happened to older one or the parent cell of amoeba? Already becoming the two daughter cell. Okay. And for harsh environments, in the dry, low temperature, food shortage, they will forming a spore. Okay, they will forming a spore. This spore contain the genetic materials of the amoeba. When the environment becomes suitable, environment become good, then the spore will emerge as adults. Okay, the spore will emerge as adults. Now we move to paramecium. The paramecium habitat is similar to the amoeba. We have the pond, lake, river. Paramecium much more smaller compared to amoeba. That's why one of the foods, okay, that been eaten by the amoeba is paramecium. Okay, this paramecium been eaten by the amoeba. Amoeba much more larger compared to paramecium. Movement is rhythmic filia. If you look at the outer surface at the plasma membrane, they have a structure we call as a cilia. That the arrow one. Okay, we call as a cilia. This cilia, they have a movements that will help the paramecium to move around the inside the water, from one places to another places. Okay, nutrition, cilium. Okay, when the cilium move, contract and relax, or moving of the paramecium, when they are moving from one places to another places, it will trap the food. Okay, it will trap the food at oral groove. This part we call as a oral groove. They will trap the food at the oral groove. When they are trapping inside the oral groove, they will move to the cytoplasm, and they will forming the food vacuole, and then they have a digestion process by the hydrolytic enzyme. What's special about paramecium? They have two type of nucleus. The first one is macronucleus, and the second one is micronucleus. The bigger one is macronucleus. Please, don't macronucleus. The smaller one is micronucleus. Macronucleus control the activity of the cell, while micronucleus they're involving in the reproduction process. Okay, in the reproduction process, production of their offspring. The oral groove then done, and then of course they have a contractile vacuole. Okay, they have a contractile vacuole here, contractile vacuole. This contractile vacuole will eliminate, okay, excessive water. Please remember, they live in the pond, lake, or river. Sometimes the environment are hypotonic. Okay, hypotonic, not hypertonic, hypotonic. While the water will enter the cell. Okay, water will enter the cell. And then when water enter the cell, it will have excessive water. Then this excessive water will be collecting by the contractile vacuole. This contractile vacuole. When there are enough of the spaces inside the contractile vacuole, it will contract, and then they will eliminate all the excessive water outside of the cell. That process we call as a osmoregulation. For respiration, also the simple diffusion. If they need water, then they need the oxygen. Oxygen will enter the cell by simple diffusion, crossing the plasma membrane. When they're producing the carbon dioxide will move outside. Okay. Reproduction, we have the asexual reproduction by binary fission, similar to amoeba, and they have also sexual, the mating process between one paramecium to another paramecium. They're involving two paramecium here. For binary fission, they're involving one cell only. Okay, one paramecium only. But for the sexual, they're involving two paramecium. This process we call as a conjugation, in way to produce the younger generation, to produce the offspring. That's the explanation for amoeba and paramecium. Then we move to multicellular. Multicellular consists more than one cell. Example, the humans. And then we have the cell organization, so that they have their own function, performing a certain function in the body, in a way that they are very good in handling all the problem, in settling the functions of the body. Okay. Hopefully you understand. Okay. Cikgu harap kamu dapat faham lah. Cikgu pun tak pastilah ya. Setakat ni tak ada siapa komen lagi whether you understand or not. Whether you want me to mix Malay and English, or maybe you want 70% explanation in Malay. Boleh jugalah, kamu boleh bagi tahu. Okay, no problem. Jadi I try my best to explain in English, because this one is DLP ya, dual language program, all in English. Okay, supposedly I need to explain in English. Jadi kalau ada apa-apa komen, ada kritikan ke, boleh message cikgu dekat nombor yang cikgu letak dekat description tu, ataupun kamu tulis dekat ruang komen. Jangan risau, no worries. Okay, no worries, boleh bagi tahulah what do you want, apa yang kamu nak, okay, untuk kamu fahamkan biology ni. Hopefully I can fulfill that, okay, your needs too. Then you can have a better understanding in biology. Okay, that's all for this video. We will continue on the cell tissue organization for the next video.